Hello and welcome to another episode of Back Row Waffle featuring myself, Zion, Gabby over here. And we met on Twitch quite a while ago now and we decided to do a bit of a waffle every week. So that is what we're going to do today. And I'm kind of running this week, which wasn't really in my plan, but I'm in charge now, I've decided. So I'm going to try and keep Gabby on track. We've talked about this a bit, even in the comments of these videos, that I can't keep Gabby on track. But that's kind of the whole point.
I bring the chaotic energy.
You do. But that's the point of the waffle. But I thought we'd talk a little bit this week about awards shows.
And this is why I think you are going to keep me on track, because I don't watch award shows. And therefore, my contribution to this conversation is going to be reacting to whatever you tell me.
Yeah. So we can get into it. But we just had the Grammy Awards were last week. So I guess we're already too far away from them because they were a week ago now. We're on to new things now. But I did watch a bit of the Grammy Awards. I must admit I have not listened to a lot of the music that was nominated this year. However, it's always interesting to just watch award shows and see who wins and watch emotional videos of people accepting awards and thanking their families and basically sobbing and creating a puddle under the microphone, which a performer will inevitably slip in.
I can relate to that. I feel like it would be very emotional to stand and accept
I'd
an
sob
award.
like a baby.
Yeah. Sometimes I like, this is not related to award shows, here we go, tangent, but sometimes when I go to a theatre show and watch a musical, and when everyone stands and applauds and they're bowing, I cry for them, because I'm like, wow, what a beautiful moment they must be experiencing. So
I have cried during some acceptance speeches, especially Ke Huy Quan's one for Everything Everywhere All at Once, when he won an Oscar after taking a 30-year break from acting.
Wow. Is that his first Oscar?
That was his first Oscar. That was his first nomination.
Incredible.
And his first Oscar. So, amazing. I mean, he was crying, I was crying, the whole world was crying. The woman who announced his name when he won was crying. She didn't even get through his name without crying. She literally opened the envelope and went... which was a beautiful moment. But yes, love stuff like that, which is why I like watching at least clips of award shows, just to sort of get a general bearing on what's happening. And, I just like watching speeches.
I saw a clip on TikTok of one of the artists performing this year, and only Taylor Swift was dancing. But
yes, because someone pointed out that award shows are the only time that Taylor Swift gets to go to concerts.
Yeah. I love it though, because she knows all the lyrics to everyone's songs, and I feel like that's such a hype woman. It's cool that she just, will be a fangirl to other artists. Imagine singing your new song and Taylor Swift is out there and knows all the lyrics.
There's a really sweet video from the Grammys of Taylor Swift literally sprinting through the crowd to find Alicia Keys' son, who I think he's 8 or 9. But they are just extremely good friends, to the point where apparently he said that she was cheating on him with her boyfriend because this adorable little boy was just like, she's mine. But yeah, there's a lovely video of her sprinting through the crowd to find him and them dancing together, which I thought was lovely.
That's so cute.
But yeah, I saw bits and pieces of it. I saw that Kendrick Lamar won 5 Grammys mostly for a diss track against Drake, which he will also be performing at the Super Bowl today.
Oh wow!
As of recording this. Well, I don't know if he's going to perform that song. Apparently, they've asked him not to. Because I don't think they want him to call Drake certain words on national global TV. But you never know. He might do it. He might just say, screw it, I'm doing it anyway.
That's the thing with a lot of rap music, is when they perform it live, they just have to stop singing for long periods of time.
Yeah.
All the bad words. And I'm like, what's the point in performing this song when you're not singing at any of it?
It's rough. I appreciate when they don't censor it.
Yeah.
Just say screw it. But, I mean, sometimes they do it quite well. Sometimes they either just, drop a word or replace a lyric somewhere.
I can't remember who it was. It was years and years ago, but I don't know if it was, Eminem or maybe Kanye or something. I don't know. Someone was singing their rap song and every other word was, yeah. Cursing. So they just sung, massive gaps. And I thought, just get a different artist or choose a different song.
God, I'm not even going to get into Kanye West at the Grammys this year. He was escorted out quite rapidly.
That is something I do know about. That's maybe the only thing I've seen is Kanye West and his girlfriend or wife, I don't know.
Wife, I think.
But was it that I'm just saying what I've seen on TikTok, so this might all be wrong, but was it that they weren't actually invited to the Grammys?
They were not invited.
Showed up
and
did that.
His wife was completely naked.
Yeah.
Under her coat. Which no one objected to, weirdly. Because she was literally standing there on the red carpet naked, and there's like children around and like a load of paparazzi who are just continuing to take photos. Wow, what an avant-garde performance by her! Incredible.
Well, they will take photos because it's money, isn't it? But
it was absolutely bizarre. But you've just reminded me about another thing about the Grammys last year, where Killer Mike, the rapper, won 3 Grammys and was then arrested. Yeah.
What, like on the stage?
No, like outside the venue. I'm just looking up the exact details because I think it was.
I love that this episode is just a tea spilling like episode where you just tell me crazy things that happened, and I'm like, no way, what happened next?
But he was mistakenly arrested and didn't actually commit any crimes.
It's even weirder.
I think it's still going on, but he is currently suing the Grammys like private security company.
So what did he get arrested for?
Assault and battery. I don't think it ever actually came out like what he was arrested for.
So he accepted his awards, partied on, left the venue, got arrested by security at the venue.
Yeah.
God. What a day.
He was misdemeanor battery, which I think is. I don't think we use that term in the UK.
Battery? Do you mean battery? As in like.
Yeah, I think it's like minor assault.
Yeah.
But they arrested him for that and then released him. They mistakenly arrested him. And then released him, and he is currently suing them, which is
how does
understandable.
One mistakenly arrest someone for like assault that they didn't do?
I'm not sure.
Did an assault happen and they just got the wrong man, or?
Apparently it was for a physical altercation adjacent to the arena where the Grammys were being held.
Adjacent? God forbid.
That's what it said. But he was cleared of any wrongdoing and released. And yeah, he's currently... Because he wasn't arrested by the police. He was arrested by like their security team and then taken to the LAPD and then released.
So much drama.
Absolutely bizarre. And it's just like, at the Grammys? Really? You arresting people at the Grammys?
Yeah,
it was a very strange situation.
Not even arresting people, aren't wrongly arresting people.
Well, yeah.
It's worse.
Yeah, this was 5 days ago that it was announced that he was suing them. So hopefully they sort that out, because that was weird. But yeah, among other things, Beyonce won 2 Grammys for Best Country Album.
Did you see all the conspiracy theories about Beyonce?
I have, because a lot of people just refuse to admit that it's a country album. I mean, I find it kind of weird. I'm not really a big Beyonce person anyway, but I did find it strange that she suddenly did a country album.
Oh, no, not... So I saw a conspiracy theory and it showed like all these...
Go on.
It was a while ago and my memory is fuzzy, but basically like pop stars throughout the years have all like dedicated their awards to Beyonce, a little bit strangely. Like, this should be to Beyonce, but no, it's like a lot. If you go and watch all of them, you're like, why are all these artists like, this is for you, Beyonce? So there's like a conspiracy theory that like they're like bullying them into being like, you've better dedicate it to Beyonce or else.
Is this like a Jay-Z thing? Because people have accused Jay-Z of a lot of things.
Yeah.
But there was that, I mean, even like 20 years ago when Taylor Swift won it and Kanye West was just like, no, Beyonce should have won.
You know what?
What?
Taylor
Swift.
What
does Beyonce have on people?
Yeah, this is the thing. It's very strange that everyone, I mean, Beyonce's great, okay? I like her music.
Amazing.
But like, why is everyone like, I've just won a Grammy, I'm gonna dedicate it to Beyonce.
This one's for you, babe.
If she deserved it, she would have won it, you know? Own it.
That is very strange. I can't say I've heard of this. Like,
I'm gonna show it to you.
Conspiracy, but
take your award bizarre. And like own it, you know?
Yeah. That's very strange. That is very strange.
It was a while ago.
Best rap album went to Doechii, who I'd literally never heard of until last week. I'm not a big rap person.
Is that they've got a new song out that I keep seeing on TikTok that's like...
It's everywhere. That was the first I'd heard of her, actually.
About drugs.
The drugs.
Yeah, I like that song.
But yeah, there was a lot of like first-time winners, which is nice. One I do want to touch on, not a first-time winner. The Beatles won Best Rock Performance, which
the Beatles
I'm very confused about because, as I said when we, like just before we started, Gab, 2 of them have passed away, and the other 2 aren't together anymore. But this is apparently like a sort of compilation music video of like their work together, and it won Best Rock Performance. So there you go.
So a video of a compilation of their performances won Best Rock Performance.
It is also under a bit of scrutiny because it is the first award won by a song that used AI.
Oh.
Because it was made from a John Lennon demo that they recorded like 60 years ago.
Right.
And then they used AI to like isolate John Lennon's vocals.
Right.
To put them into the song. So there's a little bit, I wouldn't say like controversy. I don't think people are that upset about it, but there is a bit of like, ooh, that's weird.
Well, AI is just finding its way into all areas of our lives now, isn't it? So I think, I mean, it makes sense that AI
even
is
the Beatles.
Even the Beatles have fallen subject to AI. There's no escape for anyone.
Yeah. I was very pleased to see that Best Rock Album went to the Rolling Stones.
Love
they simply refused to stop making music, which I massively respect. But I think in terms of like the big headlines from that's about it.
Well done to all the artists.
Yeah, some really good stuff. Dave Chappelle, Best Comedy Album. I love that comedy album is a thing.
Album? What is a comedy album?
Just funny songs, I guess. I will say one that you'll be very pleased about, Gab, is that Hans Zimmer won Best Movie Soundtrack for Dune Part 2.
He should.
Yep. Which leads us quite nicely into a little bit of Oscars talk, because Hans Zimmer is not nominated for Best Music for the Oscars, because they've deemed that his Dune Part 2 soundtrack uses too much music from Dune Part 1, and therefore is not eligible.
Okay.
Because it's almost the same soundtrack.
I think that's fair, right? Otherwise,
he'd win it again.
Like the same composer could just keep using their music. Like, people love this, I'm going to put it in this film. Yeah.
Did he win Best Soundtrack for Dune Part 1? I'm actually just going to quickly look that up. Dude, Wikipedia's getting a lot of work. Yes, he did. He did win Best Soundtrack.
I was going to say, I'd be surprised if he didn't, because the Dune Part 1 soundtrack is phenomenal. I went to go see Hans Zimmer live, and I saw them perform the Dune soundtrack, and it was incredible.
Wow.
Yeah. And
you did see that. I remember you saying that.
The instrument, cool. I can't remember what the instrument's called that the man uses. I can't remember what the man's called either. He's like a world famous musician, but
was it the flute guy from the Game Awards?
It's kind of like a flute, but it's not a flute. And it's like, and he like plays it on like the side of his mouth, and it looks a bit fluty, but it's not. I don't think it technically is a flute. But
I mean, there's so many. It was very, like,
and he the way he played it, I was like, wow, I didn't even know this instrument existed.
Wow,
who knew?
Got me thinking about flute guy from the Game Awards.
Flute guy,
incredible. Absolutely, I love that guy. He just pops up and just. I don't even know. Like, to be honest with you, looking at him, I don't even know if he's playing or not, or just miming. I'm sure he is playing. Like, I don't want to discredit him at all. But, like, the performance, he's like, it's not about the music for that guy. He's just living in the moment.
Live in the moment.
He played like 8 different instruments at the last one.
Oh my God.
He kept, like, leaning down and swapping and bringing out some other absurd contraption, which, endlessly
That's entertainment for you.
You've got to
Did you ever play flute at school, Zion? I feel like every kid had a flute in school.
I had to play the recorder, because we all had to play the
that's
recorder.
it, recorder. I'm getting confused. I'm thinking of a recorder.
I don't know where that started, but in the UK, for some reason, they expect every child to play a recorder.
I had a bright green recorder as a kid. Like, it was see-through, bright green.
Ooh.
Which you think, see-through, that's cool. But then when you think how you play the flute with your mouth and the amount of spit, it's actually not that cool.
Yeah, that's kind of gross, actually.
Yeah.
You clearly got your recorder in the age of, like, see-through Xbox controllers. Where
90s
just like, make
kid,
it green
baby.
and clear.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Why did every kid have to play the record? Look, I'm just off on a tangent completely. We're not even on the Grammys anymore, but I'm talking about.
I mean, I did play guitar
recorders.
and drums in school as well, but like the recorder is just like you're gonna play the recorder and you're gonna like it.
I also played guitar and piano.
I own several guitars and play none of them now.
Wow.
So that's depressing. But there you go.
We should have a Grammy.
we should have a Grammy. I could do best spoken word album. I mean, that's a thing. William Shatner won something for that.
Really? Oh my god.
I'm pretty
sure. This is a whole new world to me. Sometimes I see speeches on TikTok and that's all I know about award shows. I think we were talking about the Oscars.
We were talking about the Oscar. William Shatner has apparently done several spoken word albums. The response was not very positive, apparently.
I can understand.
I can understand that. But there you go. That's the thing. The Oscars.
The Oscars.
I realised this week that I don't know why the statue is called an Oscar. And upon doing some research, it turns out that no one else knows why either. Which is interesting. Apparently there's like
no
5
origin
different...
to it?
Apparently not. There's like 5 different theories on why it's called an Oscar. And I've got a few of them here. Margaret Herrick, the president of the Academy in the 1920s, may have said that she named it after her uncle Oscar. This is exactly what it says. The only quote of this was a newspaper from 1938 in which she said her and her husband joked with each other using the phrase, "How's your Uncle Oscar?" And that's the only quote on that. So there's that. We also have Betty Davis in her autobiography claimed she named it in 1936 after her husband, Harmon Oscar, because she said that the statue's rear end reminded her of him.
Oh, wow. Okay. This feels like I'm playing one of those games where you like say 4 lies and a truth, and I've got to figure out what the truth is. So far, I'm going for the bum one.
These could all be true or lies because they're completely unsourced and there's no confirmed response to this. And if someone does know, please let us know in the comments. Maybe there is. Maybe
let us know your theories. What's your theory, Zion?
My theory is just that the guy who...
Mid-episode hypothetical.
I feel like the guy who designed it was called Oscar and he just like scratched his name into the bottom of it.
Love that.
And whoever he sent it to at the Academy just went, Oscar. That's what this is. Cool. That's it.
I reckon it's a I was gonna say algorithm. Anagram? No.
An acronym?
Acronym.
For like official
some crazy acting reward.
Oh.
There you go.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good,
that's
actually.
My theory.
I can believe that.
Obtaining some crazy acting reward.
That could be it. Oh my god. Or it's just like someone named it after their dog. They were just like, I love dogs.
This is the thing. Oscar to me is a dog name. So why are the awards not dogs?
Sorry to any humans called
trousers.
Oscar. With trousers.
You'll get that reference if you've watched our previous episode, and if you haven't, I'll link it above.
Yeah, you should go and check why or how we think dogs would wear trousers. Because we had a lengthy discussion on it.
Who won the Oscars?
Well, before we get to that, there's another theory.
Oh, yes.
Bruce Davis, who was a director of the Academy, credited a secretary called Eleanor Lilberg. He said he credits her because he found in an autobiography of her brother that her brother had referenced a Norwegian army veteran named Oscar, described as having stood straight and tall. And that's why the Oscar is standing straight and tall. Right. But that's theory number 3.
Wow.
But no one, as far as I know, seems to know why it's officially 100% why it's called an Oscar. But at this point, it's been over 100 years since they named it. And
I'm going with my acronym theory.
I feel like the acronym theory is pretty solid. It sounds more solid than just random autobiographies about
like my husband's
Norwegian
bum
army veterans
is nice.
And husband's bums.
And his name's Oscar.
Quite an enjoyable bit of trivia, to be honest. I thought we'll slip that in.
Yeah.
But yes,
I just can't believe that no one knows.
The Oscars are on March the 2nd.
Oh, it's not happened yet. It's just nominations.
Not yet, no.
Right.
A little bit of a preview for you. But we have a whole host of films that I've not seen. But I'm very pleased to see people like Adrian Brody and Ralph Fiennes. Sebastian Stan is nominated for his first Oscar for playing Donald Trump, which is very weird. And also he did a really oddly good job of it.
What film was that?
Stan. It was one called The Apprentice, which is about Donald Trump in the 1990s, sort of building his real estate empire.
They're just movies that never interest me.
No,
but
I mean,
I am intrigued to watch it now just to see Sebastian Stan playing Donald Trump.
I've seen some clips of it, and he seems very good. There's 2 actors from Succession nominated for best supporting actor, which is Jeremy Strong and Kieran Culkin. So Jeremy Strong is nominated for the same film. He plays like Donald Trump's sort of right-hand man,
right,
kind of character. And then Kieran Culkin is nominated for A Real Pain, which is sort of a road trip movie with him and Jesse Eisenberg about 2 brothers, which apparently is fantastic. I've heard very, very good things about that. Cynthia Erivo is nominated for Best Leading Actress.
She was very, very good in Wicked.
Yeah, I need to see that. On that note, Ariana Grande is nominated for Best Supporting Actress for that.
We should do extra waffle where we watch Wicked together.
We should.
Let us know if you want to see Zion's live reaction to Wicked. We'll obviously cut it down. We won't post the whole film, but we'll just cut out the best bits of Zion reacting. I feel like that would make good content. And I'll just be in the corner crying because it's so beautiful.
That is actually on streaming now, Wicked, I think. So we could do that very soon. Demi Moore is nominated for Best Leading Actress as well for The Substance, which is apparently amazing, but it's also a horror film.
Ooh.
And it's not been nominated for really anything else.
Oh,
and I don't know if that's because it's a horror film and they don't generally do that well at award shows, but it's nice
which is
to
a
see
shame because there's so much like technical aspect to making a horror film, you know?
Yeah. The director of The Substance is also nominated, though, for Best Directing. So that's nice. But yeah, you don't really see a lot of horror films at the Oscars. Really any. So it's nice to see that one has been included.
That's good.
That is good. My biggest news from the Oscars is that Wallace and Gromit is nominated for Best Animated Feature Film. Which is amazing. However, it is also up against The Wild Robot, which is fantastic, and Inside Out 2. So I've not
seen any of them.
You got to see Wallace and Gromit at least. I feel like if Wallace and Gromit win, it'll be like the biggest upset, and I'm so here for it. I need this to happen.
Yeah.
I need this to happen. Dune Part 2 is nominated for Best Cinematography.
That only last year?
It was. Best Picture, Best Production Design, Best Sound, and Best Visual Effects.
I think it deserves it, to be honest.
It's going to win one of those, I'm certain.
Yeah.
Absolutely certain. I am pleased to see that Alien Romulus was nominated for Best Visual Effects as well, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Nice.
Because have you seen the new Planet of the Apes?
I've not seen any of the Planet of the Apes
Gabby,
films,
please.
but
okay, at least I've seen a couple.
Trailers look cool.
I actually put Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes in my best films of last year.
Because I need to watch it.
It's very... I mean, the story is not, like, mind-blowing, but the acting is great, and especially the fact that there's only 2 human characters in the entire film.
Oh, yeah, because Freya Allen's in it, right? The new one?
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's literally just, like, her and then another human character who comes in later in the film. But the rest of the entire cast is all CGI apes.
Wow.
But it's so well put together. Like, I was watching it and I was like, this is not weird. It's just a load of talking apes, and that's fine. Weird. Because it was done so well, like, it looks so realistic that you just completely accept it. And you're just like, you know what? It's apes. They're talking now. That's fine.
Yeah, I feel like with films like that, after a few minutes, it does feel normal. I've heard someone talking about the new Robbie Williams biopic where he's a monkey, and I was talking to someone about it, and they said, you know what? After about 5 minutes, it feels completely normal that he's a monkey and no one else is, and you forget.
The thing is I really like that for the Robbie Williams one, because loads of people in America have just been saying, I've got no clue who Robbie Williams is. I don't know who he is.
It's crazy.
And I feel like the monkey actually kind of encourages new audiences to watch it, because I feel like if it was just a film that was called Robbie Williams, the biopic, and it was just Robbie Williams, like himself, I feel like no one in America would go to see it. Because they would just look at it and go, well, I've got no idea who Robbie Williams is, so like I'm not going to bother watching that. But then they see a poster that just says Better Man, and then a CGI monkey, and like the cast around him, they probably think, you know what? I can watch a CGI monkey film.
I got a spare $20. And then they watched Let's go.
And ended up being like, you know what? That was actually great. I'm going to go look up who Robbie Williams is. So I feel like it really worked like that. It feels like they know that Robbie Williams is not really known outside of the UK that much.
I actually didn't know that he wasn't that well known outside of the UK.
It's really weird looking at, like, obviously, you know, we have access to the global internet.
Yes.
Which is, in a lot of places, mostly dominated by Americans, just because there's a lot more Americans. And it's a much bigger country than the UK and a lot of Europe. So it's like, it's weird going on to places like Reddit and like Blue Sky and stuff and just being like, all these Americans who are like, I don't know who Robbie Williams is. Well,
I suppose his big hits were way before, like, the World Wide Web was as big as it was. So.
And he never really broke out in America. I think he may have like toured there maybe once, but
surely they know Rock DJ. That's a bot.
Well, see, that's the thing, is like a lot of people don't, which is, it's like growing up in the UK and literally listening to Robbie Williams and like having parents who really love Robbie Williams. It's just like, he was just the big famous singer to me.
Yeah.
But then now that
we have a lot of American viewers and people not in the UK. So if that's you, let us know in the comments.
Let us know.
Do you know who Robbie Williams is? Do you know any of his songs?
Tell us if you know him. But it's bizarre to me, just like seeing people go, I got no idea who this guy is.
Yeah.
But
well, I guess that works then. Like, people are going for the weird monkey poster and then learning who Robbie Williams is.
I am sad to say that it has not been nominated for any Oscars.
Well, it wouldn't, would it? Is that not?
It might have been
25.
Oh yeah, it might have been too late. Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah. I find it bold when films come out at the start of 2025 because, like, they've got to be remembered by the time they come to do.
Yeah, it wasn't released until 2025 in the USA.
Yeah.
He did do a speech yesterday because he won. Robbie Williams, that is. It won Best Film at the AACTA Awards in Australia. And
the Aussies love it.
He did a very blunt and very funny speech, including this quote. I would like to thank drugs, ADHD, depression, anxiety, dyslexia, dyscalculia, insomnia, dyspraxia, a lack of self-awareness, a lack of self-worth, a fear of social interaction, body dysmorphia, addiction, alcoholism, and a lower than average sized penis.
Wow.
So
I feel like he could have left that last part out.
He could have, but he also could have been a stand-up comedian in another life.
Yeah.
And that was his thank you speech. And then he responded with, "You've all sat for long enough and way too long."
Oh.
Which for an award show is quite accurate.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see that his film is doing pretty well. I mean, it's got a 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb, which is very high, actually, for a musical biopic. I feel like that's actually higher than...
It's the same director as The Greatest Showman.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that. I feel like that's an extremely high score for a musical biopic. I mean, that's better rated than Rocket Man.
I was going to say, what love Rocket Man? I do love Rocket Man.
Rocket Man has a 7.3.
I feel like a lot of people didn't get Rocket Man. As in, like,
I love Rocket Man.
Because it's so, like, over the top with some of the scenarios, right? And I feel like people are like, oh, it's not very realistic. But I think... Well, I don't know if I have made this up or if the director said it. But, like, you know, the scenes where, like, in Rocket Man... where it gets a bit crazy, where he like shoots off into the sky after his performance. Like it's all to do with like how it felt to him because he was just so high on drugs and whatever else stuck in his head.
Overwhelmed by fame, really.
Yeah, for him, like, it was like shooting off into the sky, or, you know, it was like he saw his younger self as he drowned himself. Like, it's just like making it a bit more interesting than just gritty scenes of.
I always get annoyed at those complaints because people are just like, it was really unrealistic, and it's like, but if it was realistic, you'd be so bored.
And depressed. I mean,
yeah,
I love Elton John, but bloody hell, his like what he went through is depressing, and to watch it without that kind of like theatrical element, it would be a rough.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a rough watch at some parts. Anyway, so like
it needs to have that.
Also, we have to just mention how good Taron Egerton was.
Oh, incredible. He was absolutely fantastic in that film. I mean, he's a great singer. Like, he's done multiple films.
I watched it because I loved Taron Egerton. I didn't really actually know that much about Elton John before watching Rocketman. And watching Rocketman made me a fan of Elton John.
You should watch Sing, where he's a singing gorilla.
Yeah.
Actually, very good films.
Because he sings
I
an Elton
really
John song in Sing, right?
He does. Yeah. I believe that's actually what got him the Elton John film. Because Sing was I think Sing was just before.
Your song he sang in his audition to RADA?
Yes, he did.
So he's
so Sing was a few years before Rocketman. But apparently that was one of the things that helped him get that role. So if you want to get a role in a musical biopic, just play a singing gorilla in an animated film.
That's our advice. Sorry, I've made us well off topic. I think
we are gone. Where were we? We were at the Oscars.
Planet of the Apes, I think, was the last thing you said for Oscar.
It was. I think I've made it through all of sort of the big nominations.
Was
really.
Nosferatu not nominated for anything? Because I heard that was really good.
It was. It was nominated for.
I need to go watch it.
I'm looking at the Grammys, not the Oscars. It was nominated for Best Makeup, Best Production Design, Best Cinematography, and Best Costume Design.
Great. I haven't actually seen it yet, but I love vampire stuff, and I love gothic literature, you know, all that kind of horror stuff.
I would,
so it's right up my street.
Gab, I would really recommend watching Robert Eggers' other films, because he is one of those directors who knows what he's good at and refuses to do anything else, which I love.
That. Yeah.
So he's done The Witch with Anya Taylor-Joy. He's done Nosferatu, The Lighthouse, The Northman.
I know The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe.
Great film. They're all fantastic. And like, he was interviewed recently because basically all he does is like strange European like supernatural folk tales, I guess.
Yeah.
His next film is a werewolf one, which I'm very excited for. But that's basically like, that's all the films he does. He loves those weird supernatural tales. And he was being interviewed a while ago, and this like journalist who clearly had no idea what his sort of general state was just like, would you ever consider doing like a comedy film? Is that on your radar? And his response was, oh my God, why the fuck would I do that? No, please leave that to people who do comedy films. I am never doing that. And I was just like, you know what? I respect it. He knows what he's good at.
Yeah, he knows what he enjoys. I feel like some people enjoy variety and they want to like dip the toes into different genres or different roles.
I mean, it's like when
some people are like, I like this thing, I'm good at this thing, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. It's like when a director gets offered something like Star Wars or a Marvel film and they're like, yes, I must do that. I'll do it right away. I feel like if Robert Eggers was offered that, he would just be like, I need to make it a weird folktale that no one will ever believe.
What superhero do you reckon he'd pick? It has to be one like... I'm trying to think of any that are like a bit darker, right? Like darker stories.
There's a few in Marvel.
Morpheus?
He would actually... There's Werewolf by Night in the Marvel series, which is it's a man who's a werewolf. And they did like a short sort of special. I think it was about an hour long, a couple of years ago on that. I feel like he could handle that. There's also a character in that called Man Thing,
right?
Who is just a strange forest-dwelling creature.
That sounds like it could work.
Do that.
Yeah,
that's right up his street. But I don't know, man.
I'm going to start a petition for him to do Man Thing.
Can he do Blade? Because I feel like they've had Blade in production for about 10 years now and still not found a director or a writer for it. He could do Blade. He wouldn't. I doubt
Marvel's
he'd
in a
want
strange
to, but...
place right now, right? Like, I can't think of the last big Marvel film that came out. What was it? The last one I saw was Black Panther 2.
What was the last Marvel film? I'm shocked that as like a massive MCU fan.
There you go. See, it's in a weird place. I feel like people aren't really picking it up anymore.
Oh, it was Deadpool and Wolverine, but like that was a weird one.
I don't really count that.
Yeah, I mean it is an MCU film, but it's very loosely MCU.
It doesn't
right
slot
now.
into like. I mean, I know it technically does, but I don't feel like it slots into like the Avengers, Endgame, Iron Man.
No, I mean I'm sure it will eventually. I actually feel like that's going to slip more into the next phase, like after they've done all the multiverse and like next Avengers films, because they're working on the new like X-Men series after that.
I'm hyped. I really love X-Men. So
I feel like that's going to work more because obviously Wolverine and like Deadpool I feel fits more with the X-Men.
Yeah.
The last MCU film that wasn't Deadpool and Wolverine was The Marvels, which was the end of 2023.
Oh, didn't that go? Oh, did I watch that?
Did not go well at all.
Was that with Richard Madison? What's his name?
No, that was Eternals.
Oh, that's Eternals. Never mind.
Yep.
That was terrible. Dickie Madden. I didn't want to say Dickie. I was like, say his real name, Gabby, and I couldn't remember his real name.
we call him Dickie. No, that was the last like MCU film. I mean, I'm counting Deadpool and Wolverine, but yeah, it is very like loose, that one.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, The Marvels is, I think, now holds the record for like the biggest box office loss. Because I feel like it barely made its budget back, which is shocking for an MCU film. Before that was Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which was fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one because I was warned. There's a lot of
it does feature a lot of
cruelty.
Animal cruelty.
Yeah,
it's a very good film, but yeah.
I know. I want to watch it because I like Guardians of the Galaxy, but maybe I can watch it at home now so I can skip through those parts. But in the cinema, like you're stuck. You can't like fast forward to the horrible bits. Yeah. So.
And then this year we have the new Captain America, which is next week actually, which I'm going to see next Sunday.
Oh.
New Captain America, and then Thunderbolts, which is like the sort of Marvel Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Adjacent.
I liked Suicide Squad, the remake.
Yeah.
With Idris Elba.
And then we just got the trailer for Fantastic Four as well, which comes out I think this summer.
I haven't watched that trailer yet. We need to do another trailer react.
We'll do it right now.
We're not talking about the Oscars anymore.
We're not. We waffle. This is what they came for.
We're at 40 minutes, Zion. Is there any other pressing matters to do with the actual subject of this episode?
Quickly, just a few funny, not funny, but kind of like weird things from the Oscars, because we did talk about like Grammy controversies. La La Land being announced as Best Picture, except it wasn't.
Oh, you mean in previous years? I thought you meant this year. Yeah. I was like, what?
No.
Oh. That's awkward.
Which was just the most... I still struggle to watch that because of how awkward it is.
Wait, so they called it to be Best Picture?
They called La La Land as Best Picture, and I think it was that they had the wrong envelope.
Oh, shit.
And it wasn't Best Picture. It was actually a film called Moonlight. But
that's really awkward.
Everyone was already celebrating, and then they went, we messed up. So, yeah, that's one of the biggest things I remember from the Oscars.
I would hate to be in the moment where I'm like, say it's my film that's been called wrongly, and I'm like, oh my god, woo! And then they're like, no, you didn't win. Like the thought of everyone, the world watching you go, I didn't win. That
the Oscars.
It gives me the ick. I don't like it.
It gives me the ick. It gives me the ick. So there was that. These are just like recent events that I thought were quite, interesting or viral. We also obviously had Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yep. Don't really. I don't know. There's no sides being taken here.
I don't condone violence, but I also
for the
think
love of
Chris
God,
Rock
don't slap someone.
Pushed too far.
But also, like, he did make a joke about a guy's wife, but like, it wasn't exactly.
Well,
it wasn't horrific.
Didn't he make a joke about her hair and she was ill, right?
No, I think it was that he called her G.I. Jane, which was a film where the main female actress shaved her head for it.
Right.
So it's kind of just like a, hey, you're bald kind of joke. But yes, she did. The joke wasn't about her illness, but she did have, I think it was alopecia.
Right.
So like she had
That's what I was
going
to say. The hair loss was because of some kind of health thing, right? So
yeah, and it was just kind of like
changes the joke
a distasteful kind of like you're bald joke.
Yeah, it is distasteful because it's like she's not necessarily bold by choice. She's bold because of a medical situation. So, yeah. I don't know.
But it's just like, it was such a weird thing. Like, I saw it and I was just like, oh man, that joke was a bit rude. But hey, it's the Oscars.
Yeah, getting up and slapping is like just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But slapping someone on the stage of the Oscars is wild. I think Will Smith is still banned from the Oscars, by the way.
Oh, really? Oh my God. God.
Which is unfortunate for him because he then starred in a very well-received film where he probably would have been nominated for an Oscar and then wasn't because he was banned.
Well, that's the consequences of your actions, my friend.
That is the consequences of your actions. And then the last sort of controversy, I guess, was this year. There's a film called Emilia Perez that's nominated. And the main actress from that, whose name escapes me, that I'm quickly going to Google. It also features Selena Gomez is in it as well. But the main actress has been pulled up for a lot of extremely offensive tweets.
Recent or
which is kind of like
many years ago?
Well, no, like years ago, but you know what people are like. They're like, if someone comes to prominence, that's just like, let's look up their past.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's been criticized for that, which is kind of a shame because she's also the first out transgender actor to be nominated for an Oscar. Which is like an incredible achievement, but it's all kind of been marred by all these like
the
jokes
internet,
and
man.
that she made.
I mean, it's not whatever. I don't know what the jokes are, but obviously it's not good to make those jokes. But also, I think when things are so far in the past, you have to be aware that like people grow. It depends if she's sorry for it or not. Did you say she? Sorry.
She, yes. Yeah. I don't think she's really commented on it too much, which I feel like is probably sensible.
Probably waiting for the PR team to tell her what to do.
She's Carla Sofia Gascon is her name. But yeah, she's done several interviews where she's like taken it back and she's denied it and apologized for it. But yes, it is kind of a bit up in the air whether she'll attend the Oscars, even though she has been nominated. But yeah, there's been a few things that she said.
Drama.
But I will not repeat for obvious reasons. But yeah, that is kind of like the big drama this year.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because it is like a really big achievement to have our first like out transgender actor nominated.
Absolutely.
But that's pretty nuts. I'm looking forward to it. The Oscars, I love watching the Oscars. And it's hard to watch because it's like the middle of the night for us.
Right.
Because they're in Los Angeles. So it's just like 4 a.m. But I'm looking forward to seeing who wins. And we'll I need to pick up and watch some of the films that were nominated. I'm very excited to do that. And I think that's all I've got for this week.
Nice.
That's all I've got, Gab.
Well done,
So we're there.
Bang on 45 minutes. Have you got a hypothetical for me?
I do have a hypothetical.
Oh, yeah.
Did ancient humans cut their nails? Right?
Okay.
And if they didn't cut their nails, first of all, how did they cut their nails? Because like they didn't have scissors or nail clippers. And if they didn't cut their nails, do you think humans would have evolved to have claws?
A two-parter.
A two-parter.
I feel like every time you ask me these questions, I just have to sit in silence for a minute and comprehend
you gotta
what
let
you
it
asked me.
sink in.
I mean, my immediate thought was like, bite them? As a nail biter myself.
Maybe. I mean, living in those times would have been much more stressful.
Would they have strong nails in those times, or would they just break?
Well,
like,
that's what I'm thinking.
What were their diets like?
Was it just that like they were maybe working with like ancient tools or not using tools at all, and they just sort of naturally
maybe they filed them with maybe they filed them with like rocks.
Maybe.
I wonder what the world's oldest nail file looks like.
Right, I'm googling it. But I mean, like, if they hadn't though, because we obviously evolution takes thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
But like, do you think if humans hadn't evolved to have short nails or like cut their nails, do you think they would just would we have like sharper nails? Would we have evolved that way? Who knows? I just googled the world's oldest files, and it's just like, here's
I'm
some
thinking
paper
like
from
way back
4000
now
BC.
to like monkeys, right? Because monkeys have nails, but they're really short. And how do they keep their nails short? Is it from like climbing trees? It like files them down?
Maybe, yeah. Apparently, the first patented nail file was 1830, which is much later than I expected.
That is much later.
I'm just googling like ancient humans' nails. How did ancient humans cut their nails? Using primitive tools such as sharpened rocks or animal bones.
I was right.
So there you go. We've done a hypothetical. We've got a little answer on there. You cracked the case.
There we go. I've cracked the case
theoretically,
of the Oscar and the nail file.
A rough stone. And it makes you think like, but I was thinking like, if they didn't do that, would we have sharp nails? Would we have evolved that way?
We'd live entirely different lives, right? If we all had really long, sharp nails, things would be very different. But some people do, Zion. Some people get false nails put on or grow their nails out to be really long, and they just figure it out.
Oh, you know when people have like the nails that are like
no,
a foot long.
I watch a woman on TikTok who has like really long nails, and people are like, "How do you hold a mug?" And she just like threads her nails through the mug.
Oh no!
And I'm like, ew.
That's weird. That's weird.
Yeah, we'd evolve very differently.
That came to mind while I was cutting my nails. So there you go. Wow. I was just like, what if we just didn't?
Let us know what you think in the comments. What would human life be like if we grew long claws and didn't cut our nails?
We'd still be like hunting with claws.
There'd be no Back Row Waffle podcast, that's for sure.
What if we just never discovered nail technology?
Oh,
what world would we live in, Gab?
Well,
I know.
I need to say it, Zion. I've been Gabby. No, that's wrong. We've been Gabby and Zion. You've been great. See you in the next step.
She's still doing it. Somebody take it away from her. She's going to do it for the rest of time.
No one yet has acknowledged it in the comments. I don't know if people get far enough to hear me say that.
But they're like, done, I'm out.
Yeah.
They just get to, we've been Gabby and Zion, close tab.
Yeah. They don't want to know what they've been.
It's fair.